My name is John, the son of Zebedee, and this is my home. But a brother-to-brother friendship developed that he never cultivated with any of the other apostles, just me. Except Jesus come down to us and said, "Well, fellas, are you ready to start fishing for men?" Whoa, we were ready. We had just seen one of the greatest miracles in our life, and we took off with him. And they raised the cross in front of us and dropped it in a secured hole, and it made a thud that shook the ground beneath my feet. I moved to the foot of the cross, and I saw Jesus press against his pierced feet with immense pain to lift his body up so he could take a deep breath. I looked up at him with tears running down my face and said, "Yes, my Lord, my mother." I put my arm around her and said, "I shall care for her." And then his eyes began to close, and he expelled his final breath. The earth began to shake under my feet, and the stone below the cross broke in two. When I was called up to heaven, I don't know how I got there. I don't know if it was out of the body, in the body. I don't know any of that. But all of a sudden, I found myself in the great throne room with God Almighty and Jesus and the 24 elders. And Jesus opened my eyes to see the future of the world. I saw it all. Lay it on your dresser, and every time you see it, let it remind you that there's something that God is waiting to have changed in your life. So just make your way down. Others that want to do that, feel free to come. Prayer, it says that you have to forgive if you expect God to forgive you. The priests came with their lanterns and held them up so they could see our faces. Judas came and kissed Jesus on the cheek and then sheepishly turned and looked at the ground and walked away. Never looked or caught the eye of any one of his friends. We knew that he was the one that had to be in charge of this. And then Jesus asked, "Who is it you're looking for?" And one of the guards said, "Jesus of Nazareth." And when he said, "I am he," the whole group began staggering and falling down to the ground. Every one of them fell to the ground. They were all slain in the spirit. And then finally, one of the priest's servants started to get up. Peter grabbed his sword and swiped at him. He missed his mark, but sliced his left ear right off, and it fell to the ground. He said, "Put your sword away," Jesus said. And he went over and picked up the ear, blew it off, and put it up against his face, and it attached itself. Then they arrested Jesus, bound him, and took him off. The rest of us scattered in a minute, thinking we might be arrested too. Everybody went, Peter and I including, left the area, and we rendezvoused far away and decided to follow the arresting party. 6 long, anguishing hours we stood there, and I couldn't help but each time he took a breath and raised up on his feet, I found myself raising up on my toes to help him and opening my mouth to help him take air. And then I felt that as I was dying right with him. And then around 3 in the afternoon, he looked skyward, and with a very weak voice, he said, "Into your hands I commend my spirit." And then he dropped his head and stared right at his mother. He saw her wipe the tears from her face, and she tried to put a little smile on for him. And then his eyes began to close, and he expelled his final breath. The earth began to shake under my feet, and the stone below the cross broke in two. And the afternoon sky turned dark as there was an eclipse at the very same day. And then a dark cloud moved in over us and covered us all in a blanket of eerie gloom and depression. And all the people scattered in every direction because of the storm and the lightning and the thunder that was coming with it. We apostles began to stay in the upper room, hoping to see the Comforter come. Each day we waited. And finally one night, there were many there, over 100, when a breeze blew through the room. We wondered where it came from. We had shut all of the shutters to keep the noise out from outside hearing us pray. It began to move at a faster clip around the room and scared some of the people, even some of the men. And then it raced around the room and rose to the apex in the center and spun like a tornado. And then all of a sudden, tongues of fire shot out from it, shot across the room above us, and above our heads. We were all frightened, and it made the hair on our arms stand up at attention. And then all of a sudden, it began to hover above us. It just hovered, and then descended into our spirit.